Welcome again to the Eugene Springfield Fire Awards ceremony. It's been over 2.5 years since we've had the opportunity to celebrate the achievements of our staff and our community members. And we're glad that you all chose to be here today to be a part of it. It was Winston Churchill who said, "We make a living by what we get, but we make a life by what we give." Our staff consistently give their all in support of Eugene Springfield Fire's mission to serve the communities by protecting life, preserving property, and the environment through prevention, education, rescue, fire suppression, and emergency medical services. Today, as Chief, it is my honor to stand before you and acknowledge the outstanding contributions of our emergency response personnel and remarkable citizens who have gone above and beyond the call of duty. This commemoration is a testament to the collective spirit of service that binds our community together, especially during the most challenging moments. In our line of work, we often find ourselves thrust into situations that demand more than just skill and training. They require resilience, compassion, and a profound sense of duty. We honor those who live the words of Margaret Mead. Never believe that a few caring people can't change the world. For indeed, that's all who ever have. Today we recognize those who exemplify these qualities, whether in the middle of an emergency or in the quiet moments that define the essence of service above self. In addition to the awards being presented today, we will be recognizing the hard work and dedication of our own personnel who have successfully earned promotions over the last 2.5 years. These individuals have not only displayed exceptional skills and leadership in their roles, but also shown commitment to the values that define our department. In 2022, Eugene Springfield Fire began to administer the oath of office and badge pinning at a staff member's station in a more intimate setting where family and crew members can be in attendance. We will play a slideshow shortly to celebrate the achievements of these members. We'll also administer the oath of office to 3 chief officers who were appointed to their positions in 2022, but elected to hold their ceremonies until ESF staff and our exceptional community members had an opportunity to celebrate together. Our firefighters, EMS professionals, and support staff work tirelessly day in and day out, facing unpredictable circumstances with courage and dedication. Their commitment to the safety and well-being of our community is truly commendable, and we owe them a debt of gratitude that words alone cannot express. I have a great sense of pride in the people who serve ESF, and it's important to understand that the awards you will hear about represent only a fraction of the actions of our staff who deserve recognition. You see, nominations for awards are submitted by coworkers to the awards committee for a job well done. Though our friends in law enforcement may not agree, fire staff are notorious for avoiding recognition. It's okay to laugh. Just for doing their job. And therefore, not very many of these exceptional acts of service become nominations to the award committee. Nelson Mandela defined courage in this way. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers fear. So let us celebrate the achievements of the courageous among us, those who rush towards danger when others flee, those who provide comfort in moments of despair, and those who, through their actions, inspire us all to be better versions of ourselves. Speaking of courage, it's not just emergency personnel that we honor today. We also extend our appreciation to the outstanding civilians who, in times of crisis, step forward to lend a helping hand. Their quick thinking, bravery, and willingness to assist have made a significant impact on the lives of those affected by these emergencies. This is an area where our staff enthusiastically send nominations forward because these individuals are not just doing their job. Those of you recognized today have truly stood out. Our crews are proud of you. I am proud of you and your service to our communities in this time of need. Together, we form a resilient and compassionate community that stands united in the face of adversity. Today's awards serve as a reminder that every individual has the power to make a difference, and that collective action can create a safety net that protects us all. Nelson Mandela defined courage in this way. Courage is not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not who feels afraid, but those who conquers fear. So let us celebrate the achievements of the courageous among us and those who rush towards danger when others flee. Provide comfort in moments of despair, and those through their actions inspire us to be better versions of ourselves. On the Eugene Springfield Fire Patch, you will find the motto, courage, honor, and service. These 3 quotes accurately sum up what exactly that motto means and how it materializes in our people. Mark Twain said, courage is resistance to fear, mastery of fear, but not absence of fear. And George MacDonald said, to be trusted is a greater compliment than being loved. And Martin Luther King Jr. told us, everybody can be great because anybody can serve. You don't have to make your subject and verb agree to serve. You also only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. These are qualities that embody the firefighters, EMS personnel, and support staff at Eugene Springfield Fire and the communities among us who we stand here to serve, or to celebrate today. Thank you for joining us on this special day as we honor the bravery, dedication, and compassion that define the heart of Eugene Springfield Fire Department and the incredible community it serves. Okay. So next, we are going to perform the swearing-in ceremony for our 3 chief officers who took roles, myself included. You know, it was interesting when we all received our new positions in 2022 and the hope to get this celebration going again when our communities, our department, and everybody was still kind of figuring out the aftermath of COVID. And I was glad that the individuals that we've selected to serve with myself were willing to do the same and celebrate these moments together, even though it feels like we've been in these jobs for a long time now. So without further ado, I would like to invite City Manager Nancy Newton to administer.
You want to do this?
I think it's too late now. Yeah.
Just checking. You're right, you look
Oh,
great.
sorry.
They are. No,
Yeah.
doubt.
I, Michael Caden. Do solemnly swear. I will strive for the preservation of life, property, and the environment. Act for the good of the community. I will uphold the rules and regulations of this department.
I will
well and faithfully discharge the duties of my my dad's going to do it. Don't hurt me.
Here's my chance, right? You got personal protective equipment there. Perfect. Congratulations.
Next, I would like to welcome Deputy Chief Scott Bishop. Before we get to the easy part of this, A lot of people are here today to celebrate Chief Bishop, and I know this will probably embarrass him because he doesn't do this for the accolades. But Chief Bishop has served our community for over 37 years. And if you hadn't figured out, and take a look at me, you could probably guess I haven't. And when it came time to take this position and accept this position, and Chief Bishop stood up to accept an acting capacity assignment as the operations chief here at Eugene Springfield Fire, I knew with the team that was already in place and the addition of Chief Bishop, he was going to bring the history and the tradition that we so much love about our fire service and insert that into our decision making and temper maybe a little bit of the creativity that I bring that might be a little too fast for fire service change. Chief Bishop has been an amazing part of this team, and we're really excited to finally swear you in as a part of this team and continue the amazing work that you've been doing. I state your name. Do solemnly swear that I will faithfully perform the duties of Deputy Chief of Operations. And I will strive for the preservation of life, property, and the environment. Act for the good of the community. That I will uphold the rules and regulations of this department. And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of my Next, I'd like to invite Deputy Chief Travis Worthington. Again, we're excited that Travis chose Eugene Springfield Fire after a long and already storied career with many accolades and coming up through the ranks in Georgia, serving in the State Fire Marshal's office in Virginia, to Bellevue, Washington, and bringing his skill set and experience to our communities. We'll hear a little bit later about a couple of important projects that they've worked on, one of which his office performed within his first week here, at which he acted completely independently as a tenured deputy chief within our organization, doing what was right for the community and the community members involved in the embodiment of what we look for in these positions. Travis has been an excellent addition to our team, and I'm really honored to be able to swear you in today. I state your name.
I, Travis Worthington,
Solemnly swear
do solemnly
that I will faithfully perform the duties of Deputy Fire Marshal, or Deputy Chief Fire Marshal.
I will solemnly
I will faithfully perform the duties of Deputy Chief Fire Marshal.
perform the duties of Deputy Chief Fire Marshal.
That I will strive for the preservation of life, property, and the environment.
I will strive for preservation of life, property, and the environment,
Act for the good of the community.
and act
I will uphold the rules and regulations of this department.
for the regulations of this department.
That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties of my position.
Well and faithfully discharge the duties of my position.
Next, we have a short, about 2.5-minute video celebrating the promotions that occurred over the last 2.5 years. We're incredibly proud of the men and women who choose to step up and promote and take leadership positions in our organization. What no slideshow or swearing-in ceremony really demonstrates is the sheer amount of effort that it takes to do that in this line of work. Individuals who embark on developmental opportunities engage in a year-long learning process with self-study and the transmission of experience and information from our senior leaders to these newly and engaged individuals who at the end of that year will serve, grow their skill set, and then take a very competitive promotional examination to get to where they are today. It takes a lot of individuals who are interested in stepping outside of their comfort zone, continue to fill the ranks of leadership within our department. And again, we are incredibly proud of those who do that. We're excited that we have another open opportunity for new members to step into these important roles, and we're excited to see what the future holds with leadership here at ESF. As we move into the awards section of the presentation, we'll be rotating through some of our deputy chiefs to give the awards. Wait until your name is called after the award is described and come up, and we will hand those to you. If you're among a group of individuals receiving commendation or in particular unit citations, wait till everybody on your group is up here, and then we will issue those awards. We're excited about this part. We're excited to share it with you and honor the achievements of our staff and our community members at large. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome Deputy Chief Scott Bishop back to the podium. I'll try not to set you up for failure here. Okay. All yours.
Thank you, Mike. All right, the first one we're going to start with, everybody, hopefully you can all hear me okay, is the Achievement Award. This is awarded to a member of the work group of the Eugene Springfield Fire who in the course of their work distinguishes themselves by meritorious service and achievement while working on a specific assignment, issue, program, or project determined to be of exceptional value to the organization and department. In this case, the Achievement Award, Eugene Revere. Over the past year or more, firefighter Revere identified a patient that was declining and unable to effectively care for herself, resulting in nearly daily calls for assistance. Her living situation was unsafe, and her ability to care for herself was decreasing. Gene used his off-duty time to advocate for the patient with senior and disabled services and the fire marshal's office within our department. His persistence and collaborative effort resulted in the patient finding a living situation that was more capable of meeting her needs. Without Gene's efforts, this patient would likely still be struggling. For your achievement working to support a future well-being community member in need and above and beyond your duties, you are awarded the Achievement Award. The next is a Class II commendation. This is awarded to a member or a work group of the Eugene Springfield Fire Department whose noteworthy performance contributes substantially towards the furtherance of the goals and objectives of the organization, while promoting the improved effectiveness and efficiency of the department and working beyond the scope of their normal duties. Class II commendation is awarded to Battalion Chief Wayne Morris. This Class II commendation is awarded to Battalion Chief Wayne Morris for his initiative around the Know Your Zone Evacuation Zone Project. In the summer of 2021, Wayne worked in collaboration with emergency management staff from Lane County, City of Eugene, and City of Springfield, developed this project which allows a shared evacuation zone map and clear communications during an evacuation event. Know Your Zone alerts citizens via AlertMe and mobile device notifications that allow community members to stay informed about evacuation statuses for the zone so they can prepare and evacuate safely and efficiently when needed. Chief Morris demonstrated a clear passion and drive to improve the safety of our community and outcomes potential large-scale incidents. Congratulations, Wayne. Class II commendation. This is the same definition, so I won't reread that. This Class II commendation goes to Tyler Baird, our data analyst. This Class II commendation is awarded to Tyler Baird for his incredible work on updating critical programs for the department, including data mapping, data recording, and the pre-planned program. The upgrades these programs Tyler worked on allows for a more user-friendly system, provides more in-depth information, more options the department didn't have previously. Tyler's work with data reporting helps ESF to tell the story in quantifiable metrics, which is used to advise both city councils from the public and create and update policies and procedures. His work allows crews to have real-time information contributing to more efficient decision-making and faster response times. Tyler goes above and beyond when there is a community or department need, such as during the recent Moon Mountain fire. His efforts are a notable contribution towards increasing the resiliency of Eugene Springfield Fire, as well as improving the safety and well-being of our employees and the community as a whole, and we truly appreciate Tyler's dedication and commitment. The next award is the Driver Safety Award. This is presented to a member of the department who has been a fire engineer with Eugene Springfield Fire for at least 5 years and has not been involved in a reportable accident as a driver during this period. To be eligible for this award, the member must have consistently demonstrated excellent attention to all facets of vehicle operation, including courtesy, safety, maintenance, routine, and emergency driving, and established apparatus practices. This year's Driver Safety Awards are being presented to Engineer Rory Kokas and Engineer Eric Peel. Congratulations, Eric. Next couple of awards are unit citations. These are issued to companies or crew members that demonstrate exemplary proficiency in the performance of their duties during a specific or unique call. In this case, crews were dispatched to assist Cahoots initially with a rope rescue of an 18-year-old male and his father off the cliff face on Franklin Boulevard. The 18-year-old male patient was suicidal and was threatening to jump off the approximately 90-foot cliff. The patient was found on a 3-foot ledge above Franklin Boulevard and was unable to move due to fear of heights. The patient's father went to the scene to console the victim and also became trapped on the cliff face or ledge. Cahoots was on scene with the patient and his father when fire apparatus arrived and set up safety equipment. After several attempts using different equipment and methods, crews were able to get both the patient and his father to safety. The patient was evaluated by Cahoots and Medic 6, who transported the patient to Riverbend. The smooth efficiency of the crews involved in this high-angle rope rescue was impressive. We have had limited opportunity to practice this type of scenario with multiple crews. Without the expertise of these crews and the skills and abilities they bring to complex situations, we would have had a very different outcome to this call. We want to recognize the following crews for a job well done. Truck 1, Captain Paul Starkey, Engineer Jesse Bishop, Engineer John Woodland. Engine 13, Captain Dave McNeil, Engineer John Cullen, Firefighter Betty Munson. Ladder 11, Captain Chris Seward, Engineer Marco Alvarez, Firefighter Zach Harney. Congratulations, everybody. The next is another unit citation, so I won't reread the definition. In this situation, the Boat 5 crew was conducting a familiarization tour on the Willamette River between D Street and Clearwater Park on Thursday, July 14th, 2022. While touring, dispatch advised Boat 5 that there was reported water rescue just upstream from the Clearwater Park. Boat 5 was in the area and has eyes on the submerged subject and had a swimmer in the water 8 minutes after the call was first received. The subject was quickly removed from the water by the crew and returned to the Clearwater boat ramp, where they were met by the Engine 14 crew with off-duty firefighter John Hayes, who began CPR. Medic 4 was on scene in 2 to 3 minutes after Engine 14 and transported Code 3 to Riverbend. From the time the call was first received until the patient was recovered from underwater and transferred to the medic doing CPR and headed to the hospital was only 16 minutes. The patient was still unconscious upon arrival at the ER, but had a stable pulse and was breathing. We believe that the patient had the greatest possible chance at survival due to the high level of professionalism and skill executed by these crews. Boat 5 crew, Captain Craig DeGarlis, Engineer Jason Vasquez, Firefighter Bob Sink. Engine 14, Captain Casey Lorenz, Engineer Philip Bender, and Firefighter Tyler Kesterson. Medic 4, Dylan Hooker, and Ethereum Bomarito, who is no longer with the organization. And off-duty firefighter Jonathan Hayes. Congratulations, everybody. Next is another unit citation. This is for Engine Company 1. Upon arrival at an apartment fire, the Engine 1 crew found smoke from an apartment on the 4th floor and a distraught victim on the 4th floor balcony with no railing. The crew's assessment of the victim was getting ready to jump. Engine 1 fought through the crowds of scared residents and uncooperative occupants to find the fire room of origin. They made their way through the smoke, and Engineer Stacy was able to do a quick grab and pull the resident forcibly back through the window before he was injured. The victim was noticeably distressed and needed to be restrained before being transported to the hospital. The Engine 1 crew showed notable contributions and attention to detail in a stressful situation that led to a successful mission, which is why we are happy to award them a unit citation. Captain Brian Harvey, Engineer Rob Stacy, and Firefighter Jeffrey Newhauser. Congratulations, everyone. The next one is another unit citation. Engine 13 was dispatched to respond and stage for a reported woman threatening to jump off a third-story balcony. En route, the crew was notified that there was no available EPD units to respond to the call. Engine 13 worked with Cahoots, and Captain Lau decided to enter the scene with them. Engine 13 contacted the patient from below to see if they could come up and speak with her. She consented, and Engine 13 and Cahoots proceeded to the balcony. On the balcony, Captain Lau and Firefighter Harney kept the patient engaged and reassured while they slowly positioned themselves for a quick grab the patient if she decided to let go of the railing or jump. As the conversation proceeded, Captain Lau got Firefighter Harney's attention and with a subtle signal, smoothly and gently grabbed the patient and assisted the patient back over the railing and assessed her for injuries. The patient was turned over to Cahoots for mental health care. We believe the actions of Engine 13 crew directly contributed to the life-saving resolution of this incident. Captain Lau recognized the seriousness and potential of this incident and made all the correct decisions in engaging on this call. The actions of Engine 13 prevented a tragic outcome for this patient, and the crew deserves to be formally recognized. Captain Craig Lau, Engineer Dennis Kester, and Firefighter Zach Harney. The next, believe it or not, is another unit citation. The Guest House Inn evacuation incident in December 2022 was prompted by a series of code enforcement and safety concerns. Beginning with public nuisance complaints, code enforcement issued warnings related to zoning violations. Subsequently, criminal activity and property damage escalated, leading to increased police service calls. The Eugene Springfield Fire Marshal's Office conducted inspections, identified immediate life-threatening hazards, including tampered fire alarm systems, damaged exits, blocked pathways, and health-threatening conditions. With private security and hazard fixes unfeasible, the decision was made to evacuate on December 14, involving SPD in a supportive role. Knocking on doors, forcible entering unopened doors, and conducting 3 rounds ensured the building's clearance. Approximately 75 people were evacuated. The Fire Marshal's Office worked tirelessly with community partners to ensure these community members were relocated safely and that the building condemned and no longer a threat to public safety. Deputy Chief Worthington. Assistant Fire Marshal Merrill Harrison. Deputy Fire Marshal Gilbert Gordon. Deputy Fire Marshal Keith Hoggus. Deputy Fire Marshal Mark Dahl. Deputy Fire Marshal Sandra Johnston. Deputy Fire Marshal Eric Phillip Meadows. Deputy Fire Marshal Althea Sullivan. Deputy Fire Marshal Deborah Rimley. Deputy Fire Marshal Austin Burchett. Deputy Fire Marshal Michelle Bradley. And Haley Mitchell. We'll just have you all stay up here because you guys are all the same folks for the next one. Unit citation. It's a clue who it's for. In a steadfast commitment to community safety and resiliency, the Eugene Springfield Fire Marshal's Office initiated a comprehensive program in the first quarter of 2023. This program aimed to identify, survey, placard, and mitigate unsafe properties within its jurisdiction. As part of this initiative, the Fire Marshal's Office introduced substantial local amendments to the 2022 Oregon Fire Code, emphasizing the refinement of definitions within certain property categories. These clarified terms play a central and crucial role in guiding FMO staff through the intricate legal procedures necessary to arrive at effective solutions. At the core of this effort is the Vacant, Abandoned, and Unsafe Property Program, designed to specifically address unique challenges presented by temporarily unoccupied structures and abandoned buildings. The primary mission of this program is to facilitate the safeguarding of these properties, thereby contributing to a safer community, protecting both citizens and first responders, and mitigating the economic impact associated with neglected properties. Congratulations to all of you.
Okay. For the next awards, I would like to invite Deputy Chief Chris Heffel up. Yeah. No,
Love it. Thanks for the opportunity, Chief, to be here to present a couple of medals and awards. I'd like to begin with the Karen Anderson Medical Service Award. The Karen Anderson Medical Services of the Year Award is presented to the member of Eugene Springfield Fire as nominated by their peers, whose acts and service in the delivery of patient care stand out as notable in comparison to their peers. This award is intended to recognize excellence, to foster achievement, and to honor the individual EMT who acts and service stand out during the performance of patient care. This year, we are awarding both the 2022 award and the 2023 award. The 2022 Medical Services of the Year award is presented to firefighter-paramedic Heidi Carson. Heidi was nominated due to her kind, empathetic approach to patient care that eases patient and family members' anxiety. She maintains level-headed decision-making during emergent calls and is an example to her peers and new employees that she's volunteered to train as an FTEP. Her commitment to the department through her work in innovation in the EMS committee is second to none. Heidi's dedication to duty and patient care, her commitment to excellence, and her leadership among her peers contributes to the success of the department's mission. Her actions reflect great credit upon herself and that of the Eugene Springfield Fire Department. The 2023 Medical Services Award is presented to firefighter-paramedic Anthony Casada. The passion and knowledge that Tony is willing to pass on is incredible. Since re-engaging in the medical system, he has worked with virtually every medic throughout our department and spends most of his downtime helping new medics work through their task books or just gain a better understanding of their jobs and skills in general. His patient care on scene has been nothing but outstanding. We want to recognize not only his skills, but his willingness to step up and assist those around him. He's an absolute asset to the department here at Eugene Springfield Fire. Next, the Life Saving Award is awarded to a member of Eugene Springfield Fire Department who, while acting within the scope of their training and expertise, performs an exemplary act determined to be directly responsible for the saving of another's life. The Life Saving Award goes to Joel Simmons and Alfred Johnson. We'd like to recognize the Medic 11 team of Joel Simmons and Alfred Johnson, who arrived first on scene to a home of an unconscious female patient and a pediatric male. Their ability to rapidly identify a carbon monoxide exposure and take quick actions in the removing of those individuals clearly saved the lives of those two. For this, we thank you. The next Life-Saving Award goes to Captain Carolyn McCann, retired. Captain McCann was on her way home, off duty, when she came upon a motorcyclist down in the middle of Highway 126. She rendered care to the individual while other bystanders blocked traffic and assisted. The individual had severe injuries, and Captain McCann was without fire or medical support for 15 to 20 minutes. Once a volunteer paramedic arrived, at the captain's direction, they were able to stabilize the patient until Medic 16 arrived. The captain was able to provide a detailed workup and passed off the individual to the team, who was able to get the patient to a life flight landing zone. Had Captain McCann not stopped to assist, the outcome could have been drastically different. Captain McCann showed bravery, leadership, and devotion to her role. The next Life-Saving Award goes to Mary Valenzuela, Barb Courtney, and Josh Moore, retired. On November 23rd, 2021, our own Kathy Steinauer was feeling ill and was attempting to drive herself home. Mary was in Kathy's office and noted something more was going on with Kathy than just not feeling well. She called Barb Courtney for help, and Barb, not knowing what was going on, but having great foresight, asked for help from Josh Moore to bring the heart monitor. Josh determined a medical transport would be best, and when the crews from Medic 2 and Engine 1 arrived, they transported Kathy to Riverbend, where she underwent emergency surgery. Both Mary and Bob stayed with Kathy while she was evaluated, and Barb even went in the ambulance with her and stayed with her children until they could arrive. Kathy stated, quote, "I know I work in an exemplary organization, but each person's decisions that day kept me from driving home and ended up saving my life." We thank you all for your dedication, compassion, and support shown to your teammate in a time of need. Yep. The next Life-Saving Award goes to Chief Mike Caven. Then, Battalion Chief Mike Caven arrived on scene to a working structure fire with possible entrapment. The family advised of a disabled individual that was still trapped in the room of the fire. Chief Caven made a quick decision and took action to enter the structure and find the individual and pull them to safety. The swift rescue by the chief saved the individual's life. We would like to recognize Chief Caven for his exemplary service and dedication to preserving life.
It's awkward. I tried to hide from it. John, know whose fault that was. Interesting story before we move on to the Medal of Valor. Then interim chief Scott Cockrum, earlier in the day of this incident, had called me into the office and asked if I'd come serve in a temporary role. Just 6 months, he said. And I called my wife, said, hey, how about 6 months? We're going to work on redesign for our ambulance system, which has been incredibly successful with the work of many people in our organization. And I agreed. That night, that fire happened. And I called my wife because it was getting late and I was waiting for the fire marshals. And I told her, I said, you'd never guess what just happened. I rescued somebody, we would call it made a grab. And she didn't miss a beat, and she said, well, if that isn't the universe handing you the firefighter's bucket list item, not that we want anybody in a troubling situation, but to make a rescue is not an everyday thing. Those opportunities don't present themselves often. And she said, the universe is telling you you're never going back. And that was one of the last shifts that I worked as a battalion chief and found myself into this role. So funny story. Fate has a funny way of working out. And like I mentioned in the intro speech, many of these awards that we've just given, my own included, everyone who serves this community would have done the exact same thing if it was their turn in the barrel to show up to that call first. So without further ado, we'd like to move on to, oh, somebody punked me. No? Oh, there it is. That's right, I punked myself. We're awarding the Medal of Valor, something that doesn't happen often. The Medal of Valor is awarded to a member of the Eugene Springfield Fire Department who distinguishes himself by an act of exceptional bravery. The deed must have notably when one of outstanding service above and beyond the call of duty, performed at risk to his or her own life or personal safety. The act is nature sufficient to set the individual above crew members and to directly responsible for the saving of one's life. Today we're going to honor firefighter Annalise Cowan. And the true servant that Annalise is in so many ways to our organization and to the fire department. She's on her way to Seattle to do the annual stair climb for the Leukemia Lymphoma Association. And so she is an outstanding human. It's an honor to honor her today, and it's unfortunate that you all don't get to meet her. However, on August 28th, 2021, firefighter Cowan was off duty when she spotted smoke, pulled over thinking it was trash or small vegetation fire. But on arrival, she found a woman on fire. Firefighter Cowan instinctively extinguished the patient with a water bottle and a blanket and began providing care. She directed bystanders to call 911. Firefighter Cowan's act of outstanding and exemplary service to the community, even when off duty, selflessly rendering aid to a person in need, demonstrated her devotion to her duty as a firefighter paramedic with Eugene Springfield Fire. When on duty crews arrived, Annalise was calm and able to provide a concise report of what happened to the patient. Annalise had gathered patient information, demographics, and history, all while extinguishing the patient with just a water bottle. I want to recognize Annalise for her courage, selflessness, and devotion to duty always. And a pretty exceptional award to give out on this, which is International Women's Day, and her demonstrating for other young women what they're able to do in joining fire services. So it's pretty awesome. Next, I would like to invite Deputy Chief Travis Worthington up for our community awards.
Good afternoon. We're going to be talking about the Certificate of Appreciation as an awarded to a citizen or group who renders assistance to the department involving the normal work of the organization that provides a noteworthy or laudable contribution. Certificate of Appreciation, Angela Joyner. Wanted to acknowledge Angela Joyner. She was a bystander that was taking care of the dog that was pulled from a house fire prior to emergency crew's arrival. She stated she worked at one of our local veterinarian medical clinics here in town. The dog had agonal respirations, is not in a good way. She was stimulating the dog and trying to get it to breathe. When we did a jaw maneuver and applied oxygen, she continued to help us to the dog leaving with Met-Bor. We believe she was vital in this dog's survival. Angela Joyner. On to our service award. This is for St. Paul Parish School, Christine Pemwell. At the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic, St. Paul Parish School loaned their disinfectant sprayer to Eugene Springfield Fire. During a time of unknown exposure risk to the department, the school selflessly gave up this coveted piece of equipment for the safety of our personnel. This gave us a means to quickly disinfect our medic units during the early pandemic response while awaiting availability of sprayers for purchase. The actions of the school should be recognized for assistance to the department during stressful and uncertain times. Christine Pemwell. Service Award, City of Eugene Mapping and Data Team, Mike Miller, Alexander Petzold, and Carola Eklund. The City of Eugene Mapping and Data Team assisted the fire department in developing an evacuation zone map that can be used to notify citizens of an emergency in their area. It was a way of quickly providing information to not only emergency workers, but to the community as well. This team was incredibly helpful and played a major part in the development of evacuation zone map. They were technically proficient and responsive. Their hard work and dedication to the project produced a map and a system that will continue to provide safety to our community for years to come. This team will continue to be a great partner to Eugene Springfield Fire. Service Award. This service award is awarded to a citizen or community group that provides exceptional service to department personnel of a non-emergency nature that significantly contributes to their effective and safe operations. This service award is going to be for Robin Winter. Engine 15 dispatched to a woman who had fallen onto the concrete sidewalk and was bleeding profusely from the back of her head. During the process of caring for the patient and preparing for transportation, the crew took note of the bystander who was by the patient's side. After the patient was placed in the ambulance, the crew went back to talk to the bystander, who was so caring and concerned for the victim. We learned Robin Winter was close by when the patient fell and immediately ran to the patient's side. Robin placed her own shirt on the wound in an attempt to stop the bleeding and remained by the patient's side, holding her hand, comforting her, while also talking to and providing information to 911. It was noted that Robin remained calm during the stressful time and was a big help to the EMS crews. At first, we thought Robin was a family member to the patient because of the caring demeanor, but quickly learned that she was actually just a caring citizen who acted selflessly to a traumatic event. Robin was covered in blood, and we assisted with helping her clean up and disinfect. Thus, providing that patient with well-being was first thing on Robin's mind. We recommend Robin be awarded for her kindness, bravery, and selflessness. Service Award for Matt Sprick and Ian Sutherland. Crews responded to a medical emergency that was a fall injury during an ice storm and involved actively falling trees. The road to the victim's location was impassable from falling trees. It was determined the patient's house was approximately a half-mile further up the blocked road. When crews arrived, Mr. Sprick and Mr. Sutherland were already out on the road trying to clear the debris. Mr. Sprick was on an excavator, and Mr. Sutherland was cutting the fallen trees into manageable sizes for Mr. Sprick to clear. Battalion 1 contacted Mr. Sprick and Mr. Sutherland, asked them to assist in clearing a direct path to the victim's location. By the time adequate personnel and support had been mustered on the scene, Mr. Sprick and Mr. Sutherland had the road cleared all the way to the patient's house. The road was so well cleared, Lane County Sheriff's Office was able to drive a pickup truck to the resident and ferry the patient and his wife to the ambulance. Without Mr. Sprick and Mr. Sutherland, fire crews would have had to hike and climb over fallen trees and snags with the patient. The assistance Mr. Sprick and Mr. Sutherland provided to the department during this emergency was invaluable, and even though conditions were dangerous, their selfless actions helped the fire department provide medical care quickly and efficiently. Next category is the Partnership Award. The Partnership Award is awarded to a citizen or community group who has rendered exceptional service of a non-emergency nature in cooperation with the department during a single event. The significant event contributed toward the furtherance of the stated mission of the organization. First Partnership Award is going to Eric Adams. Eric and Simon Dawes have partnered with Eugene Springfield Fire to build a life jacket loaner station at Clearwater Park. They represented Willamelaine, who has not only assisted us with the placement of the kiosk, but maintenance, securing it, and assisting with life jacket donations and any other needs that arise. They were instrumental in the development of the agreements between both cities and the fire department and have donated the concrete and land that is sitting on. They have assured us that the Willamette Lane looks forward to partnering with our department on many future projects and have been nothing more than helpful, supportive, and willing to assist on any occasion. There is absolutely no way this project would have happened without their involvement. Next award category is the Valorous Service Award. The Valorous Service Award is awarded to a citizen who, during the course of an emergency incident, places themselves in a position of significant risk to the life and/or personal safety while rendering aid or assistance to the department. This Valorous Service Award is going to Christian Slonaker and Joanne Rostel. Christian and Joanne were traveling westbound on Highway 126, approaching I-5 on February 6, 2022, when they passed a young child walking barefoot on the side of the road. The child was unaccompanied and at great risk of being struck by oncoming traffic. Christian and Joanne stopped their vehicle and approached the child on foot along the highway. Eugene Springfield fire personnel, by good fortune, happened to be passing by and witnessing the event, stopped to assist, and ultimately making contact with the child and were able to return her to her family. Highway 126 near I-5 is a very busy road and dangerous for anyone on foot, let alone a young, unaccompanied child. Christian and Joanne risked their own safety to do the right thing, and we commend them for doing so. The next Citizen Valor Service Award goes to Greg Spike. Greg Spike was running along the bike path in the early phases of the Valley River Inn fire. He heard and saw a woman on the second floor of the hotel on the balcony. She appeared to be trapped by the fire, and she had retreated to her balcony. He went underneath her balcony where he told her she needed to jump, and he would help her break her fall. She jumped, and he caught her and helped her to safety. Greg went above and beyond the call for any citizen and risked his own life and great personal injury to save another person.
If you don't surface the news or social media much, you can probably find videos of Mr. Spike's work and efforts in that incident. We're incredibly proud of everybody we were honoring so far today. But that was an amazing story and an amazing act of selflessness for our community. Okay, next we're going to move on to, we're going to invite Deputy Chief Heppel back, continuing the theme of life-saving awards. So, just need to check something real quick right here, make sure I don't punk you.
I'll get Mr. Spike's application.
Yeah. We can promote him on the spot if we need to. I think all the right people from the city leadership teams are in the room. Got this? Okay. Perfect.
All right, glad to be back up. The next life-saving award is awarded to citizens who, by their own action or initiative, or at the direction of a department member, performs an exemplary act that is dedicated to, let me back up, exemplary act that is determined to be directly responsible for the saving of another one's life. First is the Citizen Life Safety Award going to Emily Dixon Lowry. On September 24th, 2020, Emily Dixon was an employee of Whitebird, received a text from a friend at ESF regarding an overdose at the clinic. Emily was driving her kid to daycare when she redirected to Whitebird. Emily checked on the patient, who was believed to be overdosing, and determined the patient had no pulse, and immediately administered aid and began compressions on the patient. Emily's actions this day not only saved the patient's life, but showed how much she truly cares, her dedication to bettering the lives of those in our community. The next life-saving award goes to Elizabeth Bates. Elizabeth? Hi. On October 4th, 2021, a father had taken his kids to the park to play and lost track of his son. He found his son face down in the river. Upon hearing shouts for help, a couple of female joggers stopped and rendered aid. One of them happened to be an off-duty RN named Elizabeth Bates. Excuse me. Elizabeth assisted the child and began life-saving CPR while waiting for emergency crews to arrive. Her quick actions and knowledge saved the 18-month-old life. The next Citizen Life Saving Award goes to John Anliker. Anliker? Sir, come on up. On the morning of January 23rd at 10:22 hours, a 60-year-old male was running on the bike path behind McMiniman's restaurant when a bystander witnessed the patient collapse and fall to the ground. When the bystander approached the patient, he was not responsive and not breathing. The witness called 911 and yelled for help. One of the employees at McMiniman's, John Anliker, recognized what was happening and tried to awaken the patient. John, having received training in CPR, felt for a pulse, and when he couldn't feel a pulse or wake the patient, started CPR immediately. From the time the bystander witnessed the patient become unresponsive and yell for help, John had started CPR, all within 1 to 2 minutes of the event taking place. Upon EMS arrival, Truck 1, Medic 1, and Engine 6, John was performing CPR. Crews took over and started the cardiac arrest protocol. The crews that responded believed John should be recognized for his immediate action in recognizing the severity of the patient's conditions and not hesitating to start CPR, as we all agree. John's actions helped in the overall outcome of this patient. The next Citizen Life Safety Award goes to Davina Parakish. Davina Parakish, an employee of DHS, was concerned about a mother and child at the motel in which they had been helping them. Davina took it upon herself to go to the motel and check on them on her own accord on her day off. After getting no response from the room, she got the key from staff at the motel and entered to find the baby in a stroller in severe distress. Davina called 911 for assistance. It was eventually determined the child had been in the room alone for up to 4 days. Unfortunately, the mother had passed away a few days prior. If it wasn't for Davina's intuition and her swift action, the baby's life may not have been saved. We want to recognize Davina for her, man, I'm all choked up, get us. Woo! We want to recognize Davina for her selfless act and instinct and continue to care while off duty. The next Citizen Life Award goes to Dana Winder. Thanks, Dana. Come on up. A man was driving home with his wife, Danae, on Highway 58 when he started to feel sick. Fortunately, he was able to pull over the car, but went into immediate cardiac arrest. His wife pulled him out of the car and did compressions until Dexter Rural Fire Department arrived on scene. The medical crew took over and delivered only one shock, and the patient converted and resumed to a normal cardiac rhythm. Danae's quick actions and ability to stay calm and provide care for her husband until help arrived ultimately saved his life. There was another sentence in that, but I just didn't know. That was just really good there. The next Citizen Award goes to a number of Springfield police officers. Brian Dunn, Darren Kendrick.
Is this the right one?
I don't know.
That one we don't have the right stuff for. We're going to honor them at their briefing.
Okay, we'll go
that
meet
was
them at their briefing.
yeah, that was-
Fantastic, appreciate that. All right, we'll move on to the next Life Saving Award with a couple of individuals. Michelle Braun, Paige Lowry, Katie Anderson, and Christina Scott. If any of you are around, look at this, awesome. Awesome. Crews were dispatched to a senior assisted living center for a cardiac arrest in the lobby. Staff members witnessed the event and immediately moved to help the patient to the floor. Each staff member took immediate and coordinated action. Michelle Braun used a rescue mask to perform mouth-to-mouth. Paige Lowry provided compressions. Katie Anderson cut the patient's shirt off and applied the AED. And Christina Scott was assisting the others with equipment and relaying information to 911. Engine 14 was on scene quickly. They found a patient on the floor with the staff and is with CPR in progress. Engine 14 took over with Tower 3's assistance, continued CPR, delivered cardiac drugs, and delivered 2 more shocks, the second of which brought about the patient with a pulse. At the hospital, he started talking, and 2 hours later, Medic 4 saw him walking around the ER. Without the quick and synchronized reactions of the staff, this probably would not have had such a positive outcome.
These are my girls. Katie wasn't able to make it. She has to work the knock shift tonight, so I'm taking this back to her.
Thank you, sir. The next life-saving award goes to Shane Ryland. Shane? Shane performed abdominal thrusts on a choking person at a local steakhouse. Sounds like an American Heart Association video. After reviewing the video feed from the restaurant, it was clear that the actions taken by Shane saved the life of this choking individual. Upon the arrival of the medic, the patient was already breathing again, and want to acknowledge Shane's effort and selfless actions to save an unknown person's life. The next life-saving award, Sarah and Bruno Piccolo. Awesome. Citizens Sarah and Bruno Piccolo took action when a victim was in cardiac arrest and were able to start the activation of emergency response and immediately perform high-quality CPR until ESF crews could arrive. The hospital provided post-cardiac, soon the crews took over, the hospital provided post-cardiac arrest care and the recovery. Both Sarah and Bruno performed well under very stressful conditions and remained a resource for on-scene crews. Their contribution was a crucial component to the ultimate outcome of the patient leaving the hospital a week later. We would like to reward them for their life-saving efforts today at our ceremony. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, I think, let me just check all my notes here before I think we made it. We got one more. If Chief Heppel, I'll trade you spots and we can ad lib.
Amazing.
So we'd like to invite Darren Kendrick up. So that's a component where we were working on our facts and getting all that right, and we'll get those up to date. But we wanted to acknowledge Deputy Sheriff Kendrick for his work in assisting and aiding in the life of a motorcycle accident victim and a positive outcome for that individual. We appreciate your efforts and your service to the community. Thank you. So, all in all, I think we did it. We went pretty smooth. We had a lot to get through in acknowledging 2.5 years of efforts of community members and our employees. Normally, when we do swearing-ins, especially when an organization brings a new chief on board, we have an opportunity to give you all sorts of pie in the sky and great ideas of the things that we're going to be able to accomplish and tackle the world, and have a unique opportunity to stand before you and share our experiences over the last year and a half with the leadership team here at Eugene Springfield Fire. Some of the things that you didn't hear about today and ongoing efforts to redesign and modernize our department, take care of our employees, engage with our community, and think about the future have been almost limitless. As we all know, as we face multitude of challenges in the world today, in the post-COVID environment where more and more we hear that the new normal is chaos. And in our work, that's what we do. And you saw many, many stories about that. But for our organizations, sometime when we take a pause, and even in our own lives, where we turn around and we look back and we see the things that we've been able to accomplish together, it's pretty profound. Despite how chaotic and challenging the road ahead is, we've done a lot. Our organization has done a lot. Our community should be proud of the men and women who choose to serve. Should be proud of your community members who at a moment's notice are willing to stand up and help us in our duties. We can't do this alone. We cannot do this without our elected officials, without the support staff and the many city departments in both of the cities that call Eugene Springfield Fire Department their fire department, in making this work. It takes a team. It will take a team to move us into the future. And in our opinions, that future is bright as we navigate a number of challenges with new workforces, with challenges in people entering public service, in resources and meeting the expectation of the community. We all came together when most recently one of our hospitals closed, which seemed like an insurmountable challenge, but all entities, all support staff came together and figured out how are we going to solve this. I'd like to acknowledge Deputy Chief Heppel and his work in securing funding through a bill that was passed this week to give us some additional response capacity in the wake of the hospital closure, and an innovation fund that will help us bring tools for people who are accessing the 911 system in emergency rooms who aren't experiencing emergency. Our healthcare system is in dire straits, and know that your fire department is on the front lines of that. We are, in our opinion, the true universal healthcare that when our community calls, we're there. We come, we don't ask questions, we provide the care that's needed, and like you saw today, many others, whether it's community members, our partners in law enforcement, our coworkers, are going to be here to make this work. We will continue to innovate. We will continue to strengthen and build our fire department. And we look forward to inviting many of you back next year to celebrate the many accomplishments by our Eugene Springfield Fire employees, our city partners, and most importantly, our community members. With that, thank you for your patience, for packing this room and celebrating with us today. It's hot. If you see the firefighters rush off, and I feel important to note, 2 weeks ago, a stalwart in the fire service passed away, especially here locally. His name was Frank Jackson. Was a union leader in our fire department for many years, and the reason why public servants have the benefits and the rights that we do from our access to PERS and collective bargaining for our unions, for safety and staffing. He and numerous members from our home area advocated for those over 50 years ago. He passed away after a long, storied career. We have some of our crews that are over his funeral, starts here in about 5 minutes. And so if there's not as many firefighters to mingle while you enjoy cake and punch and stuff, understand it's not because they don't want to spend time with you. They want to go honor this amazing and bigger-than-life character. Chief Groves can probably confirm. I'm glad I don't have to supervise him listening to his stories. But no, really, in all seriousness, thank you for your time, your patience as we move through this, and we will see you next year.